You're about to watch a Trains Newswire video. If you enjoy what you see, consider looking at some of our other full-length videos. Chicago, America's Railroad Capital, 20th Century Limited, and a new collection of top-quality documentaries from producer Rich Luckin. All of these and more are available on our website, kalmbachhobbystore.com. Good morning, Trains Nation. Today is Friday, September 1st, 2017. It's the first day of September, hence September 1st, all day until midnight. If Jim were with us today, he would say it's the sad day when summer meets September. Jim, that's for you. Brian, we got a lot of stuff to talk about today.
We do, yes. Where do you want to start?
I want to start with, the thing I wanted to start with was Hurricane Harvey. Do you mind?
Go for it.
Hurricane Harvey, tropical storm, then tropical depression. Now it's just a big thunderstorm somewhere over the Mississippi Valley. Devastated Houston all this week and last weekend. What it left in its wake was a lot of death and destruction. Hundreds of thousands of homes washed away, roads washed away, railroads underwater, including Union Pacific, BNSF, KCS, and a whole bunch of switching and shortline railroads that serve the oil and chemical industry in Houston. And it looks like they are in the middle of recovery operations. We've got several stories out this week updating you throughout the week on what actually happened to the railroads or what they were reporting as the floodwaters washed through their territories. Yeah. We know, Union Pacific seems to be the hardest hit right now. Mm-hmm. Much of their yellow branded territory. On railroad maps that we see, orange is BN and yellow is Union Pacific, and KCS is like a purplish mauve or something like that. And the yellow lines are inundated with floodwaters, and the orange lines are not quite so bad. And what we're seeing is photographs on BNSF and other railroads dumping ballast. We see lots of roadbeds and rails underwater. There's an interesting picture, and it's on Trains Newswire this week, from Galveston Yard, BNSF's Galveston Yard, that is literally underwater, and you see just two locomotives and a hopper off in the bottom right-hand corner that are sitting in the middle of this lake.
There is some good news out of all this, though, right?
There is some good news. Well, there is some good news. What you were going to talk about some of that. We know from last week that BNSF rescued a war bonnet train from the Galveston Rail Museum.
Yeah, that's right. Pulled it to higher ground. As far as we know, it's okay, but we don't have an update from the last couple of days.
Right. BNSF has been busier doing other things like getting their network back and operating. They're taking care of their employees. Now, we've not been able to confirm this through BNSF, but we hear that they have employee programs where employees from around the network are coming into the Houston area and South Texas to try and help out fellow employees whose homes have been destroyed or devastated. BNSF employees are helping out people. We know that railroaders are naturally generous people anyway, so we assume that everyone is out there giving their all. And then you had some very particular news.
Speaking of giving, the Texas State Railroad is giving some of its land, at least temporarily, for relief. If you have a RV, a camper, or a tent of any kind, and you've been displaced, the Texas State Railroad has some space for you to set up camp. Used to be a state park, so they have campgrounds at both ends. The line is from Rusk to Palestine, Texas.
Yes, it is.
Just northwest of Houston a little bit, I believe. So if you have a need and I guess a little bit of means, they can take care of you there, of course. They've got showers and restrooms and food and all this other stuff.
Well, and it's not underwater.
Yeah, that's the important thing.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
It's pretty far inland too.
Yeah. So free. Yeah, if you had been affected in South Texas, you can go there and camp for free. Just as a place to stay to get out of the floodwaters. So there's been a lot of bad news nationally and internationally in the past few months, and certainly in August. But I've been waiting for an opportunity to say something nice, really nice. And I think what Houston is showing, at least on the railroad side, is that people are coming together. It doesn't matter who you are, where you came from, what you look like, what you believe. People are coming together and helping each other out. And that's the best of the American spirit. Texans would say it's the best of the Texan spirit, and I would say that's the best of the railroad spirit. That's just who we are and what we do.
Amen, Steve. Amen.
Yeah. Had to say something there.
What else do we have?
Well, let's see. More good news. BNSF Railway is recalling 4,000 railroaders.
Okay.
How
many have they had furloughed? Do you know?
4,000 to 5,000.
Wow.
In the past year. So they're recalling 4,000 railroaders to start on train crews, and I don't know if it's dispatching other members. They're not saying exactly where these workers are going to be deployed, but it's to help handle increased grain and chemicals and coal
Sure.
carloads. So it's a very good thing. We'd been reporting for months and months and months, and even a couple of years now, about railroaders getting laid off or forcibly retired, and this is a reversal of that trend, at least temporarily. So we're looking forward to that. Big news today out of Washington, D.C. Surface Transportation Board says that Great Lakes Basin Transportation Company, or Incorporated, has an incomplete application. This was the company, you remember, that was trying to build or proposing to build a new belt or a new bypass around Chicago, from Wisconsin through rural Illinois into northwest Indiana. And Surface Transportation Board said that they don't have enough financial disclosure, financial details, or planning for the STB's liking, plus they only have $151 net to their name.
That might buy a couple spikes.
Might buy a couple spikes, a couple of tie plates, maybe a little rail tie, something like that. So it's rejected for now. We got a full story on Newswire. Rich Ronsky did a great job on Thursday of rounding up lots of comments from people who are affected by this, and even getting a quick comment from Great Lakes itself, their attorney. So read more on that on Newswire. Brian, save me from heavy, weighty news. What else you got?
Well, let's see. This is September 1st. Yeah,
Yeah.
September 1st. Happy September. Yeah, end of this month, beginning of October, Amtrak will be detouring the California Zephyr.
Oh, cool.
North out of Denver, kind of just missing Cheyenne, and then over to Salt Lake City that way to go around some track work in Colorado.
So this is a rare miles
It's
opportunity.
a rare mileage opportunity if you like to ride such things. It's a good photography opportunity if you just want to see a passenger train in Wyoming again. So
Yeah.
get out there, see that, photograph that, ride that, whatever.
Very nice.
And for photography, and for train riding, Amtrak's, well, technically it's the states that have them now, the Siemens Charger locomotives
That's right.
are in service, regular service in the Midwest now.
Based in Chicago, though.
Based in Chicago, yeah. Both of the Hiawatha sets have them, and they're starting to show up on some of the other state-supported trains in the Midwest. So this will obviously be a new look to Amtrak in the Midwest. You know, we're going to see these things in and out 14 times a day in Milwaukee now. The builder will still have, you know, regular Amtrak engines, the P-42s.
P-42s, yeah.
But yeah, look for these, you know, from Dearborn and Pontiac and Grand Rapids down to Carbondale and out to Quincy. So,
Yeah. St. Louis too, right?
Yeah, St. Louis, yeah.
Yeah. So lots of opportunities if you like riding behind new equipment or you like photographing new equipment. This is it. Paint scheme's kind of, people are complaining about the paint scheme.
Well, it's what we have, so go out and see
Yeah,
it.
what you have is better than what you don't.
It's nice and new and clean for a few weeks.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Sounds good, sounds good. And then we've got a couple other stories that we're following up too. Penn Station in New York, the reconstruction process is over. That really benefits New York commuters, or as you said this morning, New Jersey commuters trying to get to New York. So big news conference happened in New York City. We had Ralph Spielman on the scene, took a photograph, wrote a story up late on Thursday, and it looks like all trains are going back to Penn Station as scheduled on September 5th, next Tuesday. So interesting story there. And also a story about some destruction out west in Montana, some wildfires out near Yellowstone National Park.
There you go.
Yellowstone National Park. So
Not Jellystone, though.
Not
Okay.
We did not get any reporting from Ranger Smith on this, believe me.
Ooh.
Yeah, so we got
Hey,
to.
boo-boo.
And on that note, Brian, look, there's a lot of stories on Trains Newswire today, this week, more than 50 of them. Go check them out. If you have something you'd like to share with us, like a 30-minute long, all 360 high-definition video of 1225 steaming through the Michigan countryside, which we have on Newswire this week. And if you want to send us a tip on that, send it to newswire@trainsmag.com. Email address newswire@trainsmag.com. I'll be sure to look at it, and if we can share it, we will. For everyone at Trains Magazine, have a great Labor Day weekend.